And welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to show you a kind of a remake of Pong, and it's just something that I've been working on as a part of the CS50 class, um, Intro to Game Development, that I'm taking online right now. So I'm just going to jump into the code. So and a part of this assignment was to pretty much create a AI for the Pong game that we've been working on all week in class. So we were tasked to either have um, a player one or a player two paddle move by itself, or have both paddles. I chose to have the player two paddle move by itself. And to do that, I did the following. So first thing I did was I created a global variable called CPU mode, initialized it here at line 54, and set it to false. And then one other thing that I did was I added a additional sound bite to our sounds table here on line 84 called you win. And the idea here is if either player one or player two reaches a score of 10, then the sound bite should play once that happens, and I'll demonstrate that here later on in the code. So if I scroll down to line 206, you'll actually see what I'm talking about here. See here, if player 2 score equals 10, then we'll set the winning player to 2. Our game state is done, and then we'll hear the you win soundbite. Similarly, on line 226, if player 1 reaches a score of 10, we'll set the winning player to 1. Game state is done, and the you win soundbite should play. So when we scroll down to line 260, this is where we actually see the CPU mode kick in. So what I'm saying here is if CPU mode is set to true, then I want the player 2 change in y to equal the ball change in y times math.random. And the reason why I went this route is because initially this line was saying player 2.y equals ball.y, meaning I want the player 2's y position to equal the ball's y position. So when I ran this, technically it worked for all intents and purposes. The player 2 paddle was indeed moving by itself, but it was working a little too well. Player 1 never had the opportunity to win the game, so to kind of switch it up a little bit, I called this player 2 change in y and set it equal to the ball's change in y, and then randomized it by multiplying it by this math.random, which is accepting a range of 0.8 and 1, so that we can have a little variation, so that we can have, give player 1 the opportunity to win. So then here in line 281, in the love.keyPressed function, this is where I'm just kind of kicking CPU mode off, where I'm saying if the space bar is pressed and we're currently in the start game state, then CPU mode is true. So I'll demonstrate this here. So let me just run love. So here we are. We've got our welcome to Pong. Press spacebar for single player mode. Press enter for versus mode. So I'm going to go ahead and click spacebar and have player 1 serve. So initially, the player 2 paddle would kind of follow the ball's every move, and it wouldn't let me score so easily. But now, we kind of have a little game going on here. I will admit that there are a few bugs to work out when the game is initialized. But technically the AI is moving on its own. And you'll have to forgive me, I'm not the best Pong player, but I do want to reach level 10 so that we can hear our new soundbite. Or a sound effect, I should say, excuse me. And again, I am not the best Pong player. See? And there it is. So there you have it. Thank you so much for hopping on my channel, and hope to see you next time. Thanks.